We still have a lot of things to get through. This is like this is the warm-up segment. Okay, warm-up segment begin. Quite a few weird sticks. This one looks almost identical, like functionally it looks like a caterpillar. That's the entire reason I kept it. This I'm definitely not getting rid of. Look at this frickin' twig and the bark that it grew. Castanet beans, which are not, that's not what they actually are. Sea urchin. That's not a sea urchin. It's a knothole that left a little piece behind. This spiny nut boy. This one's pretty cool though. Kind of thing you would see in a mathematical representation of an equation or something. And it also has like holes inside. This is a great explanation I'm giving. I think I thought this was cool because it's bark, but it like inverted itself, like it's bent the other way. I don't know. I'm not here to question. This I thought was cool because the wood, it shows the way the wood splits and how it holds itself together with lignin. If I'm remembering right, it's lignin. Lignaballs. A really tiny nut. This is a piece of bamboo back from my bamboo cutting days when my brother and I would go out in the woods and cut bamboo, and then people would yell at us because we were cutting the bamboo in their yard. It's got a hole in one end and a little hole here. I was going to make a flute, but I never learned how to do it properly. Double cones. They are connected. Hat for a nut, and do we have the nut? Well, we have a nut here, so the nut can wear the hat, like so. We have a bunch of other pieces of nut. At some point I should have sorted these so that I didn't just take all of them, but you better believe now that I have to actually pack them up, I'm just going to take all of them, because why would I go through the grueling effort of choosing? Here's another weird, like I don't know what the kind of nut this is. That one's a weird nut. And here is a vine. Tendril. Tendrils are cool because the plant in slow motion basically like goes through a process where it's like, am I touching something? No. If I'm not touching, I like do this a bunch, and then when I touch something I go, oh, okay, and then wrap around it. And so in slow motion you can see plants like waving back and forth and going around and then grabbing stuff, and that's how they formed this. Like you can see where it grabbed on to whatever stick used to be here. And then I have the most fragile leaves. I have only 3 of them. You might be able to see the veins of the leaf. It's very faint. But this leaf is eaten all the way to the tiniest veins. This one was eaten inside the leaf. So you can see where the worm like dug around, I think. And finally, and this is one that I've had for years, and a perfect letter E. I'm gonna have to like wrap it up or something. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna take care of it? These fuckers are not, like, they cannot be compressed. I don't think they can go with anything else. Fuck. Let's not think about that right now. Well, these are not particularly fragile. They can just sort of go wherever. Sorry, I was distracted thinking about... Can I fit this one in this box? No. I'm thinking about this wrong. These are replaceable. They're really cool, but they are inherently, they're replaceable. The E-Boy leaf cannot be replaced. I have no idea what I'm doing. Every fucking tissue, and use all of them on this one, and put a piece of tape and write E on it. Final result. Packaged E-leaf. You just have to E-leaf in yourself. How am I supposed to do this? This thing is fucking curled up. Well, one thing that I could do, if I can get them both to cooperate with each other, maybe get it to be like a ball. This is why I don't do origami. I did research. The only thing I didn't get a very good grade in college, this research job I had where we were weighing amphipods, which are basically like little shrimp bugs. Like underwater shrimp, which are regular shrimp, but they're related sort of we were trying to find out if we could determine anything specific about their mass, like whether there was a correlation between metabolism and mass or something. This guy that I was doing the research with had such incredible tremors. Like his hands were extremely jittery. We were working with really small, this is the guy who like did the experiments. These amphipods, when they were dead, were like freeze dried. So they were extremely small, thin, like lightweight exoskeletons. They were tiny. And we're putting them on this tiny little scale, like this weird, like up and down, like sideways scale in like a microwave looking weighing machine chamber. And he's like holding them in his hand and shaking, and I'm like, ah! It was so stressful. Can't wait for the origami episode. I would rage. Cool. This isn't even where these should go. Honestly. There's a whole bunch of... Yeah. I'm trying to plan ahead, because if I don't plan ahead, I'm going to have to end up reorganizing, and that's arguably worse. It is worse. Here's what I think I need to put them in. I think I need to put all of these in this, because this is where this is. But I have to make sure they don't get freaking crushed. If I just put all of this shit in here right now and forget about it, I'll just add to it later. Later, where everything ends up being thrown and nothing ends up actually going. You had to have heard that, right? Did you hear that? Did you hear the owl? We finally got it. There are 2 of them at least. This is like the last stream maybe that I'm doing in this house. I have no idea what is going to happen after this job. No idea. So the fact that I was able to get it, holy crap. So this is almost all of my nature stuff, which is weird because it feels like I had more. The deer skull not included. Here are some of my bone stuff. Oh, I know, it's a squirrel. Squirrels don't have fangs, idiot. These 2 are the same species, and this one is a different species. And this one is very obviously a different species. I actually don't know what one this is, but we can all take a wild guess that it's a rodent. And we'll all probably be right, because holy fuck, those are some big front teeth. These ones I do know what they are. Raccoon skulls. They have the omnivorous teeth. They have both canines and back teeth for grinding things. This is what I remember. I believe these are raccoon skulls. This is a fox skull. This is not from the same fox, so apologies to both of the foxes involved in this. This is a hide made from roadkill. It's very soft. And this is the guy that we see running around. Not this, literally this one, but just like last week I saw one trotting down our front yard. Wish I could get that on camera. If you go on my Instagram, you can see one. Next we have this bone, which I pretty recently found. And I'm pretty sure it's like the lower jaw of a bird. Like it's a beak piece. It wouldn't really make sense to be anything else as far as I can tell. Hip bones, or rather shoulder blades. I believe this is a deer shoulder blade. I believe the muscles attach and pull and push like so to help move the socket. That's some fucking bone. I don't know what kind of bone this is. Here's a cool one. So this is an almost complete bat skeleton. The bat in question was found dead, like drying in the sun. And I was like, I'm gonna grab this. So we let it decompose, and then now I have a bat. So you can see sort of. Like I don't know exactly how intact or well preserved any of this bullshit is, but it's there. Maybe someday we'll get a closer up look at this. I'm gonna have to put this one with the desiccant because it looks like it's got a little bit of mold on it. Boy, we have a lot of feathers to get through. Here's some extra wood pieces that I have. A V. and some wacko wood here. Piece of this, and some of these. This is very red wood that smelled really good. Piece of this, a bone of some variety. See the marrow. Some of this stuff I'm like, why the hell did I keep this? This one's cool though. A sea plant of some variety. It has like, it's segmented. It's in a bag because it's very light and falls apart. And it's hollow on the inside, so it floats and stuff. I'm just trying to get rid of, I'm trying to get all of the plants out of here so we can start getting into the animal stuff. This looks like it's seaweed. I have no idea what the hell this is. This is a, holy shit, this is a cool bent stick. It bent and then solidified. A literal fungus in here. Like, not a fungus like it's growing, a fungus like I picked it and put it in here. I'll show you in a minute. And here, this is a turtle shell, obviously. Here's a cool, like, ball and hook made out of vines, like the stuff we were looking at earlier. Some, like, paleontologist slash natural historian is gonna watch this in the future and fucking physically cringe at the way that I'm doing this. Fun fact, Orochimaru literally just means snake man. Really stupid. Your big villain for the first, like, several seasons of the show. Snake man. Do I want to actually care about these? No, I don't want to put a desiccant packet on this boy. Always keep these. If you store things that can get moldy, keep them. They're good. They're useful. It says throw away, but it also says do not eat. And one of those is a suggestion. Yeah, but those owls, those are barred owls. Not barred like the musician, which is unfortunate because that would be way cooler. Barred as in like barred from entry. Hulk. Talc, or like, I think it's talc. Fragile rock things. Talc question mark. It's time for feathers. Here's a good feather. It's very big. Like really big. I genuinely don't know what these are from, which is why I'm just sort of commenting I'm like not really commenting. Someday I want to display all of this stuff. For now it has to go in storage. Another. Some of these are probably falcons and owls. These are crows. Ravens. Here's a very weird feather. I don't know what kind of bird this came from. Very unusual kind of feather. Strange looking. Oh, fuck. Yeah, these probably should have been preserved better because some of them are falling apart a little bit at the end. They are made of organic materials, which do decompose over time. Some of these feathers are just genuinely gorgeous, like this one. There's like some fucking residue on this shit. Here, I'll try and make this easier to look at. How the fuck are you supposed to preserve feathers? There are some that I'd rather have like fall completely apart before I get rid of them. Like this one, like there's no way I'm getting rid of this one. This one's cool. It's probably from like a seagull. It's got the black tips. Here you can see a different kind of feather. The ones with the down. These are for keeping warm. Whereas the other ones are like for flight. This one probably has some flight capacity. Like it's closer to the outside, but it's mostly close to the inside of the body where this fluffy shit is. The fluffy shit keeps you warm. It should be noted that I wash my hands after handling this stuff. It's another pretty one. Cute little one. This one's really fallen, like not doing too hot, but it's pretty. Two very pretty yellow ones. Now we have all of these. I put them in a honeycomb and just sort of stuck them in the little holes. I did this for years. I got these two, this one, this really, really thin one. Probably from a woodpecker. We'll look at them all in a minute. Here's the honeycomb, or I guess hornet nest. You can see where it was attached. They get attached by tiny little connections, like one little thing holds all of this. They build it out of paper by chewing up wood and making paper with their spit. Blue jay feathers, cardinal, probably, very red. I'm imagining this is like a seagull or something. It looks like a foxtail. Black and blue one, the spotted one from earlier. Fluffy feather. So if you imagine a bird, they're mostly like thin and skeletal. So this being stuck close into the body and having all of this extra space is like having a nice downy coat. And then this is the part that sticks up and is like there would be other feathers here, so you wouldn't be able to see it so much. It's like a little boat. A thin feather here, another feather here. I don't always know exactly what struck my fancy. When I saw it, this one for instance is very smooth looking. Some motherfucker is grilling and it's making me very hungry. This like turkey looking feather is beautiful. Another really smooth looking feather, fluffy and light. Another black and white feather. Really good commentary, Caleb, just fucking top-notch stuff. Oh, here's a very similar one to the other one that we saw. This is probably the same species. If I had to guess, I would say that's probably the same. Because look, the spots are even in the same spot. They're even in the same location. If I'm remembering correctly, feathers are actually modified scales over millions of years. Another one of the pretty gray ones that somehow are immune to all forms of decay. Finally, two very similar looking ones. Two twins. Okay, and just to get the rest out of the way, the next stuff we have I'm just like giving miniature gifts to myself and I have no fucking clue what they are. This is what I meant about the connection points for hornet nests being very thin. Look at this. This held up the rest of that. That's how they build stuff. They build a little succession point of very thick wood pulp or some shit, and then go nuts. Two little board eggs, beard, another piece of snail shell, what appears to be part of maybe an old nest of some kind of bug. I don't really understand it. This looks like a parakeet feather or something. This has teeth in it. And if I was going to bet, I would say that these teeth belong in one of the skulls that we've already wrapped up. God damn it. Some weird ass shit in here. And you know, I really don't want to look at it or deal with it right now. So I'm just going to put it back and wrap it all up together. Got like some kind of weird bug appendage, maybe a shark tooth, which is some tiny rocks. I can never escape the rocks. I guess I'm just always finding more rocks. Here's a really cute little acorn, twin acorns. Don't you fucking dare. Get back in there with your brother. Conjoined twin acorns. Here's those mushrooms I was talking about. I don't know why I have them in here. Now this is gross. You might think this is gross, but there was one time in high school where, and it's really gross. But after that, for whatever stupid reason, I still have the whole toenail. It's disgusting. But in some sort of a sense, it's kind of cool. When you're a biologist, you put your disgust on hold and you start thinking about how things are actually kind of cool. All right, I gotta start packing this shit up. Sort them by size first. Let's also sort them based on how clean they are. This one is dirty. I'm sure this is all very exciting. That's all I've got, sorry. I'm really just going to have to hope that some of these feathers don't destroy the other ones. Whatever disease, if there's a disease that's causing them to fall apart, and it's not just like old age or some shit, like that doesn't spread. Sorted. Roll them up. What a decisive end. Packing up his stuff. Boy, makes me really excited to see where he goes next. So for now, I think that's everything. I just want to say thanks. Thank you for supporting me. Get the fuck off.